Alright, welcome back to another episode of the jankityasspodcast. Let's see, after this week, some news. After this week, next week is going to be off, because I'm going to be out of town, I'm dealing with some other stuff, whatever. And you'll also notice that I'm using the headset because it seems that my mic has wrapped up. I think it's busted. The cable that goes into the actual head is, all wiggly like that, which I know on iPhones it's usually a bad thing. So I guess I need a new one or whatever. I don't even know how it pulled. I have it. Whatever. Or I wonder. Nah, I have no idea. Before we continue on, I am drinking something again. This time we got the Taco Truck Amber Lager from Dust Bowl Brewing in where? Where you at? Who knows? Oh, here we go. Turlock, California. So, literally a small town in a big state. And now I already poured some out, so I'll go ahead and top off my horn. And I have tried this before already too, so it's actually pretty good. Oh, now this fucking thing's gonna be in the way the whole time. Great. So, real quick, if you haven't already, go down in the corner, click like and subscribe to Multi-Murdy Media. You will get this playlist, which is the podcast, jankityasspodcast. You will also get the Gutsy Gamer, which is video games and Twitch. There isn't anything really new. I got some videos up from my playthrough of Fallout 4, which is far from finished, but right now I'm actually working through Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I have not done since they actually put out any of the additional content. So there's a lot that I haven't done yet. So I'm going to, in front of you guys. And thirdly, you also get the Poncho's Paint Booth playlist, which is, my hobbies and painting and stuff like that, which I got new videos coming up. I think this week is going to be... What is this week? The Scorpic Lord from the Necron range, which I actually did him up months ago, but I'm just now putting him out. And let's see. Yeah, and of course, if you're listening to this, like, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. We're on your iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, and a bunch of other ones in between. So hard to miss. You have no excuse. And of course, also find us on. Sorry, I took an edible. I'm a little high already. Great start, right? But also find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and on my website, multimurdymedia.com. All the addresses are at the end of the video, so just stay tuned if you're watching. If you're listening, I have the website down below, and then all the links are there too. So, again, no excuses. So let's go ahead and get into with me and Tom. This is the last of what I recorded a couple weeks ago. So, after we go off for a week, there's going to be new content for y'all. But in the meantime, stay tuned, and I also got some more articles coming. So here we go. Also, speaking of Marvel, I'm sure you I know you went to see Widow after the last time.
I loved it. It was great. really have any complaints with it. I just thought it was solid end to end. B plus, good movie. There's definitely some like, she is going, but other new characters will be here, like her sister, who's clearly going to be a player.
Did you see the end credits?
Yeah.
Thing? Yeah.
That's basically where I got that idea. I was like, oh, okay.
Yes, that'll be good. Also, I don't know if you saw, unfortunately, also, Scarlet's Black Widow is definitely very much dead. Not just in the story, but as far as her ever coming back to Disney.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of Disney's own damn fucking fault. Disney loves to do this thing where they're like, these guys have infringed our IP. We're going to sue them into the fucking next Earth. And it's like, then they're going to be like, we're just going to casually break the law. We're just going to casually breach contract. But
yeah,
they're not going to come after us because they don't have enough money. Bye. That's Disney. Piece of shit.
There's a part of me that feels like that's really more just a thing of like too many people in control of stuff and nobody talking to each other.
Oh, you think that's what happened? That'd be interesting, actually. But apparently they didn't back down. They're like, oh, no. And like they like just flat out lied to her.
Well, I mean, you're talking about like, I don't know, the bigger like stuff like Disney and HBO. They don't really have a track record of throwing their own people under the bus so much.
They don't,
you know what
or
I mean?
do?
Don't. At least not that I've seen.
Disney has, from what I've seen, like they've had like a secret history. It's just never made the news because those people have never been able to come after them. So, I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that question mark, but
maybe. Or at least not publicly, I guess then would be the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I could totally just see like whoever is kind of in charge of streaming just being like, you know, all right, what did we just come out with? Oh, Black Widow? Yeah, cool. Let's throw that up.
Yeah. Didn't we tell Scarjo that we weren't going to do that? Nah, it'll be fine. She won't care.
Or they would have not even been at all a part of that or had any idea about contracts or anything like that. But
I doubt that that level of lackadaisical, just like like is anywhere near those people who make decisions for Disney. Disney's got like 10 of the top 50 law firms in their back pocket. Like, there's no way no one's looking at their stuff. Just my thought.
Sure.
I think they just thought they could fuck around and get away with it. Instead, they're fucking around and they're finding out.
And I did see too. Also, after this, apparently Emma Stone is thinking about doing the same thing with Cruella.
Yeah, because she got gypped on that.
Yeah. And also Gerard Butler, apparently.
Really? For what?
Because it is funny, for Olympus Has Fallen, which was the first of those 3 movies, which came out a few years ago, but it sounds like they just kind of threw it up on their streaming without compensating. I guess.
That's it. Like, I know, for example, they tried suing Deadmau5 for his mouse logo because they were like, this is an infringement on our logo. And he's like, I've had this logo for a long time. You guys, I've been a public figure for a long time. You've never tried to stop this. Oh, and by the way, I'm actually suing you because it turned out Disney did like a little teaser trailer for Halloween and their Halloween cartoon thing coming up.
Looked exactly like his fucking mouse.
No, it used his music. And they didn't ask him. And so he's like, yeah, I'm actually just suing you because you're using my material to market your stuff without giving me compensation. So yeah, joke's on you, son of a bitch.
Since you brought it up, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And the best part is that like Deadmau5 immediately goes to Twitter and he's like, check out this fresh batch of bullshit. Like, he just didn't give a shit. He's like, yeah, look at this shit that they're trying to pull. Dang it, I'm messing this up.
I do. I know. I worked his show in 2019. I wouldn't mind if because he was one of the ones that did like a multi-night type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a full 5 nights with us, which was
damn, that's actually a hell of a commitment.
Oh yeah. And especially and that was back then too. I mean, now we're actually getting paid even more, so if we get something else like that,
yeah,
that wouldn't be too bad. And actually what's funny is the only reason that he did that was because nineinchnails did the same thing earlier in that year as well. We had he did 6 nights. But it was a little more spread out. It was like 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off. And then 2 on. But that was a good chunk of work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did it too, because Nine Inch Nails did that, because I think he and Trent Reznor are friends too. So like I could totally see it being like, oh, if Trent did it, I'm gonna freaking do it.
Well, I think it was more just the fact that he was able to sell it out.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no,
yeah.
Easily either of those guys could sell out that many nights in like one major city.
Oh yeah.
Because all they have to do is play more nights in that city as opposed to going to smaller places to get people that are more local, because the people will come to them. Like, no problem.
And it was nice too, because they had like different openers for most of it.
That's cool.
Or I know well with nineinchnails they had he had the same feature throughout, which I don't remember who it was, but then each like block of 2 nights was a different opener.
Oh, nice.
And I remember the last one was kind of like this like Italian sort of synth gothy band. I don't remember what they're called though. They were pretty good.
No. It sounds like Moonspell.
No, it was something else. It was like oh fuck. Something Moon. It was like Pale Moon or some shit like that.
Moonspell.
No, that
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, if it was Moonspell, they would have never gotten past soundcheck.
Ew.
Yeah. But then yeah, I think the only other one to do anything like that before is we had LCD sound system for I think it was 4 or 5 nights.
My house.
Back in 2017, which is a long time ago now.
Yeah, I just aged incredibly.
Well, no, because like they and nineinchnails, they were actually allowed to put up like a thing back in like the dressing room hallways, like they did like a they painted up like a kind of like a show poster type of thing, and they had the dates there. I was like, oh shit, I've been here too long. Type of deal.
Yeah.
And they were able to do that because like past the main back hallway is no longer the like landmark status part of the building. Whereas the rest of it can't do anything with.
Interesting.
Anymore.
It's because it's just that protected?
Yeah, especially in California or LA. It's like it's basically just a bunch of old people with nothing better to do.
Protect that thing.
Just say no, yeah. Which is funny because I know across the street from us we have the old Nickelodeon studios there in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. That I guess also used to be like the old like some old theater, which they actually repainted to what it originally was for what was that Tarantino movie?
Pulp Fiction?
No.
The Hollywood one?
Yeah. But so somebody bought that building because they Nickelodeon moved out, and somebody bought that building, and I guess didn't realize that it was a landmark building.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so now it's just sitting there empty. Pretty much.
Because, I can't do anything with this.
Yeah. But then they, in the old parking lot, they built up some apartments or whatever that are, just now opening, I think.
I wonder how much, especially for LA, where there's so much amazing old buildings there and architecture, but because of the fact that you can't change or do anything to the inside of it, I feel like a lot of it's just
outside.
sitting, or outside. I feel like a lot of it is just sitting there, right? And it becomes like, well, this is a whole tract of city that can't be touched. So what the hell are we going to do here? And I understand why you preserve buildings. I really do. I think it's important to preserve a lot of things. Tradition, but ultimately, if you're destroying a city by preventing anything from going inside of it, even if it's at the expense of what you used to have, isn't that kind of more important? Maybe we rethink of the rules where it's okay, you can't change the outside at all, but go nuts on the inside. Why not that? Why don't we do something like that at all?
Well, I feel like, well, no, because in a lot of cases, it really is the inside almost more than the outside. Especially in the case with the Palladium, it's kind of the same, since in a way both have been used for different historical purposes or whatever. But it also really more comes down to who owns the property at the time, because there's definitely a lot of cases of just people oh, I don't know what to do with this, but I'm insanely rich, so I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, I can just sit on it.
Type of deal. Yeah, because I know with the Palladium, in our case, I think it was the early 80s. No. Shit. Yeah, it was built in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
It was used for a good 15 or 20 years. And then they didn't really do anything with the building after that, except for use one of our little upstairs lounge for a radio show for a decade, which is just a waste. Right, because you're talking about a massive fucking ballroom that's just empty, basically, except for maybe some private stuff. And then, they start it, and then it closed for a while, and then they started using it for shows again in the, I want to say late 80s, or something like that. And then eventually, I guess the people who own it now bought it and licensed it out to Live Nation a good 10, 15 years ago.
And then
they finally started building it up to what we have now. And then I'm not sure. I know we also have the Wiltern. I don't know about the history of that building.
I know that's an old building for sure.
Oh yeah. And that one's also kind of a weird situation too, because it's I think it's a dual ownership, because they have the I don't know if it's residences or offices above it, up in the front there. So I don't really know what's going on there. But then we also have the Belasco now in downtown next to the mine, and I know up until Live Nation took it over, it was just being used as a nightclub, but only in the bottom floor area, and all the there's upstairs lounges and sidebars and all kinds of cool shit in there that was apparently just being they were just storing stuff in there, just not using it. Yeah, I remember because I kind of know the GM over there now, and she told me that like she literally filled like 4 of those giant truck dumpsters just with like old chairs and carpets and just bullshit, and probably full of like rat and cockroach crap too or something like that. But yeah, just really just hosed it down pretty much. But that one's gonna be nice now though, so
No tears, only dreams.
Oh, let's take a break. Back to just me and my Bruce Lee gang. It's funny because I started buying tank tops to help me try and get in shape, because it's like I wanted to fit into what I'm wearing, right? And well, I'm a little bit out of it now, but I think I'll be getting back in. Actually, I'm going home later today. Actually, I'm flying home. Or no, it'd be tomorrow, very early tomorrow. I have to be at LAX by 6, so I'm just gonna stay up. But my hometown gym is back to doing weekly and daily passes, so I think I'm gonna get there and I'm just gonna start kind of hammering it out there, and hopefully, that'll kind of get me into a good routine, sort of a little bit. Even though obviously everything's different once I get back here, but whatever. And still got my nice taco truck lager here. Blah. Not bad. But more importantly, we're taking a break because I got some more articles for you guys. And I'll have to do a sound drop at some point. I still got to figure out the whatchamacallit, a soundboard type of thing. Especially if I'm going to have 2 people. Unless, of course, I can't get this goddamn microphone to work. I bet next time I start recording, I'll plug it in. It probably works just fine. Should be bullshit, but I do have another one of these. But I don't want that to be like a regular thing where I have to replace microphones. Speaking of replacing microphones, how about replacing energy? First article here is Mana Electric's TerraBox turns sand and electricity into solar panels. I don't have to tell you why that's cool. Obviously, I mean, a huge part of our world is there's a lot of desert, even here in California. In fact, I'm actually surprised that more places aren't just. Oh, excuse me. If we. I'm sorry. Every once in a while, when I drive to Vegas or San Fran, even rarely, there's just huge swaths of land that there's nothing there. Like, they're not even grazing land. Like, it's just dirt or sand or something like that. Like, just cover that shit in solar panels. We're gonna need it eventually anyway, because the whole... Yeah, gas is just gonna kind of tank, hopefully, someday. And, solar, it's free, basically, after installing or whatever, of course. And then once, we solve, like, that energy problem, then we can move on to, different problems, among other things. But anyways, this thing is actually kind of cool because you're basically just taking what's already there, and it's alchemy. They're making something from nothing, from shit, aka sand. I guess normally you would use sand to make glass, but in this case, something a little more useful. Let's see, what else do we got? Movie stuff. James Gunn reveals his dream Marvel Studios Disney Plus show. So, as you can see, if you're watching, got a nice picture of Yondu and some of the other Guardians because James Gunn was the director of both of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I'm pretty sure he's doing the third one as well. I could be wrong, but he also did Suicide Squad recently as well. But anyways, this article I did read a little bit about, which I know it's not how I'm supposed to do these, but apparently it sounds like he wants to do a Ravagers show with the two kind of options being either centered around before the Guardians, or the other idea was that it would be like after the Guardians and Yondu and his whole faction dies, basically, because it would follow like the other Ravager captains, such as who actually their characters in the comics are actually like the Guardians of the Galaxy, but from the future, from like 3033 or whatever. And the way that they did it for the movies is they just kind of revamped it and adapted it so they're all in the same thing, like, and they're not pirates either in the comics or whatever, but hey, they did their own thing and it's cool. And one of the guys is played by Sylvester Stallone, so it would actually be kind of cool if they had a TV show and they got like all of them in there. I'm sure they would recast some of it, but that would be boring. What do we got next? Gotham Awards move to gender-neutral acting categories. Now, this is fine, I guess. I don't really have a... It kind of seems like a bit of a overcorrection. But I do know one complaint that I've heard is that in many instances, apparently this would reduce the categories, or it would have some of the categories, if that makes sense. And then you would have half the people in those categories. So, like, for example, if they have like Best Actor and Best Actress, then that would just be condensed into one category. And then you would have half the people competing for the same thing anyway. I don't know if that's actually what's going to happen, but I can see that being a problem. But otherwise, that's kind of the only thing that really caught my eye about this one, or piqued my interest. So I thought it was interesting to share. Next up, they killed us from the inside. UN inquiry demanded into officials' culpability in the Beirut blast, which you may remember from, I think it was last year. There's this huge factory with like it exploded, right? And from what I understand, it was storing. It was like a port warehouse, and they had just a ton of chemicals, or some other compound or something like that was stored in there, and but not properly stored or disposed of. And I guess for whatever reason, they're basically, this article is trying to blame like incompetence of whoever was in charge. But anyways, this thing fucked up the city pretty hard, especially right there around the blast. Like that, there's like a here. Let me see if I can get rid of this ad. Yeah, that crater right there. You can kind of see that used to be like that was the ports, and then this is only like half of the building that used to be there. So. But I'll drink to the people who are okay. So, let's see. We got one last one. Speaking of the Middle East, hyenas hoarded thousands of human and animal bones in Saudi Arabian lava tube. Yeah, that sounds very hyena-ish of you. But they, yeah, I mean, hyenas are scavengers, right? So they just kind of pick for remains, and this is just another interesting article. I think I think this is actually like the biggest hyena cave or something similar that they've actually found, other than like the fucking Paris catacombs, but that's a different story. Yeah, fucking hyenas, man. Anywho, that is all the articles that I have for you. Oh, let's see, I still got a little bit of this left, so I am actually going to, shut off now. I'll edit this out, and I'll release you back to me and Tom, and then you'll get a break from us. So, if I haven't said it already, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. All of that. Here we go again. Are you listening to this show and thinking, man, I'd like to start a podcast, but I don't even know where to start? Well, Buzzsprout has the answers for you. Buzzsprout is a podcast hosting service that provides a number of valuable resources to help you on your podcasting career path. For one, Buzzsprout offers indefinite hosting of all your episodes and allows you to host as much material as you want, depending on the type of subscription that you opt for. Buzzsprout also provides a means for getting your show hosted to every major podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, you name it. In addition, Buzzsprout also provides various means to get your show monetized through various sponsorship and affiliate programs, links to other paid hosting platforms such as Patreon and YouTube, and your own personal newsroom to learn all the tips and tricks for optimizing your podcast for the greatest return on your investment. If you're hearing all this and you're still interested, you can go to my link below and receive an Amazon gift card for starting a podcast hosting subscription that you'll receive on the second billing period of your podcast journey. Everyone has something to share, and there's no time like the present. Join Buzzsprout today.
Well, that's good. I mean, yeah. I guess ultimately it's as much a desire to like not see piss constantly on the outside of those buildings, as well as it is being like, you know, I want to like those places look so cool. Like I want them to be used, right? Like they're meant to be lived in or lived around or part of human life, you know?
Or just used. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and so that's the thing. I get like retro nostalgic for stuff like that, where it's like, man, I wish I could have saw that in its heyday, you know?
Well, I mean, even now, like, you know, you go downtown in Hollywood, like, there's a lot of just like store and restaurant fronts that are just, I mean, even before the pandemic, are just boarded up.
Yep.
And not used. Like, I've definitely seen.
Thanks, Garcetti, you piece of shit. And yes, it is your fault.
And the other ones. But
and the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know even
yeah,
just
I don't want to exclude anyone.
Yes.
they're all yeah. Let's include all of them.
But I mean, I've definitely seen like a lot of what is probably like old clubs and theaters that just there's nothing there, or no one there, I should say. And we also now don't have any idea like what's owned by, you know, non-U.S. nationals.
That's another problem that we're having is, you know, foreign entities buying U.S. land, you know, private hedge fund groups buying U.S. houses, which means they'll never sell that shit ever.
Which I don't even really understand what would be the point of that, because you're basically just shelling out money for taxes, right? For something you don't use. Because
you rent it out. Land is one of the biggest true real investments that you can have today. Like, there's a great line There's a great line in the what is it? I think it's called The Founder, that movie about Ray Kroc, and it's got Michael Keaton, and he plays Ray Kroc, the guy who made McDonald's what it was, not necessarily the founder. Yeah. He was one of the McDonald's brothers, but he's trying to figure out like his problem because he's spending so much money on this and that, even though he's making tons of money. And he like explains his problem to somebody, and he's like, wait a minute. The guy's like, wait a minute, you own all these properties? And he's like, yeah. He's like, my friend, you're not in the fast food business, you're in the real estate business. And then he realized like, oh shit, like, and what he ended up doing was he would take that land, he'd own it, he'd create McDonald's on there, franchise it out. The franchisee would make better money than they were making in whatever job they had, and would pay him reduced rent, because it's like, oh, you can use my land for what it is, and I give you a great deal because you're a franchise, or you don't have a franchise on here, and I charge you full rack rates. I mean, the like second of like most countries, I think McDonald's, if it's not still, it's one of the top 5 entities that owns land in the world. And ultimately, yeah, you pay taxes on it. Sure, you pay property tax, but if I'm paying 10% of a property's value in tax on all my properties, but then I'm charging rent that's 11 or 12% of that tax, or more than 11 or 12%, so then I make a 2% revenue, then that's just like your ETF fund, except it's bigger. I mean, seriously. Yeah. Not to mention which it's like land just is one of the few things too that just, it only goes up. Like it almost always goes up. Like unless literally murder is committed on your property, and like then it's like literal confirmed ghosts.
That might still go up.
Actually, depending on the crowd.
But I don't know though. Although at the same time though, that doesn't really address the problem of like I was just saying, you see a lot of buildings that all their retail sections are abandoned.
Oh yeah.
And you would think that, I mean, unless they're trying to manufacture scarcity for something.
I mean,
or it's just like, I'm all the way in China, I can't deal with any of this shit.
It could be a little of that.
Neglect.
It could be a little bit of neglect. It could also be like, I bought it now and I'm not doing anything with it because right now it's not worth doing anything with it.
It's just full of squatters or something.
Well, yeah, but who cares as long as they're not destroying it, or I'll just ask the cops to go show up every now and then. But I'm butchering this paint job. What's the thing of it is like, it could be they're like, oh yeah, it's like I know enough about what I'm doing where I don't care about this property being good or giving me money because I know it'll give me money in 10 years. So in 8 years, I'll start developing it and get it ready for what I feel like is going to be a boom. Like I know people who definitely take that approach.
Well, we'll see if that's anytime soon.
Yeah.
Oof. Especially in our case.
Oh yeah, no. Us millennials have at least 3 or 4 more economic recessions to go through first.
Oh yes. So speaking of paints, still I finally finished Nick's Possessed.
Oh nice.
And I am almost done with these bad boys, little venom crawlers.
Ooh, that looks nice.
Still got some still got the details. And then now I'm helping Jeff and Casey with some stuff after that too.
Oh nice.
But just small stuff. I
currently am painting some Devastators for an army idea I have, right? In my quest to paint an entire chapter's worth of Space Marines. I had to redo the Devastators anyway. So I stripped the paint and I put them in the... Where's the camera angle? Get in there. See, I'm using the fuzz background so it fucks it up because it's not my face. Yeah, there you go. See it. Anyway, it's the teal. It's the teal skill that I scheme that I use for the Alpha Legion. It works out fine, but the silver, God, I need better silver. The silver's fucking up and it's pissing me off.
Nice. You're maybe loyal, maybe traitor
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've just been painting them up because the idea is like I like just to be able to play any kind of Space Marine army I can think of. And I've had these Devastators for a long time. A long time. Oh, maybe I should have done it bronze. Oh, fuck, that would look so much better. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
Inspiration struck.
You're
You are my
welcome.
inspiration. You are my, I was going to say, it's all you, buddy.
It is one thing. I am kind of finally getting back into painting stuff, especially now that I don't have to worry about, housing
Yeah.
for a while.
You don't have to worry. Yeah, you don't have to like put all your shit away and pack it all up and everything.
I will still have to someday, and that's going to be
It'll
a
be a
pain in the
bitch.
ass.
But that is not this day.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I figure I do kind of want my own thing after this, but depending on what I can afford, I might have to. I might have like a system of, I don't know, loft frames or something like that, just to store shit in.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Also, be better for
Oh, yeah,
soundproofing.
that's way better.
But and I'm sure you've seen all the new dragons and stuff that they're coming out with for AOS.
Oh my gosh, that made me actually want to. AOS has this constant habit of me being like, okay, now I'm playing AOS. Okay, now I'm going to play this game.
I did think it was funny that they still somehow managed to just pad the Stormcast line
Oh, dude,
with all of that stuff.
that's all they do. It's like because they're like the Space Marine. They're like the baby boys. It's like one model for your army and 2 models for Stormcast. 2 models for your army and 4 models for Stormcast.
There you go. Oh, and I did pick up the Cruel Boys from Danny
Ooh, nice.
that he got out of his thing, all in sprues. So that will be done for the channel one of these days.
Nice.
Probably
Looking forward
a while from now. But
looking forward to seeing that.
those would be nice. So I did think it was interesting that like they don't even have any whatchamacallit. They don't have like a rule set or separate section on the Games Workshop site yet.
Yeah,
or
that's just
anything
called
like
a
that.
I think that's just called a delay. But that Vulture Lord looks sweet.
Oh yeah, he's a shaman.
The Vulture shit. Yeah,
Actually.
that dude. That dude just looks dope.
Kind of reminds me of Dark Shard for some reason. Or Labyrinth. Or just some weird dark Jim Henson
Yeah,
type of shit.
yeah, I could see it being very Jim Henson-y. Because it's like the grittiest I've ever seen them do orcs.
Yeah. Especially yeah, that whole line. Although I do I might have to build up my or finish building up my Savage Orcs someday. I know I could definitely use a lot more Boar Boys in there. So I don't have any of that. And then I do also like the fact that my spider goblins aren't out of the loop yet.
Spider goblins. Oh, definitely not.
Well, I was one thing that did kind of throw me off, at least with like the orcs and goblins, is they sort of consolidated everything into 2 books
Yeah,
with them. So like,
that's
yeah,
just that's destruction, right? The book.
well, no. So with the orcs, they have the Auric War Clans book.
Mm-hmm.
So that has like the Savage Orcs and the Iron Jaws, and then also like the old school basic ones, or whatever.
Okay.
But then the
Yeah.
the Gloomspite Gits book has all the Night Goblins and the Spider Fang, and something else too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But and yeah, probably just like the old regular bitch boy goblins
Bitch
or
boys.
something like that. And I know they kind of did that with Order 2, where they're just like they took like all the like the old dwarves and humans and dark elves, and they're just like, these are cities of Sigmar.
Yep. Here you go. It was kind of like making a legacy rule set that was still like part of the game. I was like, oh, okay, okay.
And I do still want to build up my giants too, because I think that would be the easiest, especially since I've already got Kragnos.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Which will be another video sometime in the future.
Kragnos.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And I'm finally getting back into the league tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Actually.
Nice. Who you playing tomorrow?
Somebody that I don't know.
I'm actually playing Danny Kwan. Danny Kwan's there tomorrow.
Oh,
so
I'm gonna be over at Odyssey for this one. For better or worse.
What? Yeah, I was gonna say. I won't tell the others.
Not my choice.
I'm just kidding around.
I go where the fun is, I guess.
Are we having fun yet?
Yeah, right. Of course, the only thing that sucks is I don't really well, I mean, I haven't had. Well, I guess this is kind of my chance to play test stuff, but I haven't really had time to fiddle with my army composition or anything like that. So, still just gonna be Necrons again, which is fine.
There you go.
I guess.
Dude, I love the Necron line. Although, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're still in a tough place though of what they need to figure out, like what they need to do. You know, it's like they're still not as durable. Is that what it is? Does they need to be, or like is it things too expensive?
I don't know. I've had a decent amount of success with just having the warrior blobs.
I think that's the way to go, personally.
Yeah, they stay up pretty well. But yeah,
plus they're just a pain in the ass to get rid of.
Yeah. And well, I also found out kind of towards the end of when I was playing before that I was using one of the secondaries wrong.
Oh.
So it's actually a bit harder to get. But yeah, so it's really just because with them it's more about living and securing rather than killing. Other than the heavy destroyers that I'm using, which those are nasty. I mean, I think that playing with them when I was playing against Waters, I think that was the only time I was popping like at least one Plague Burst Crawler a turn.
Damn.
Which is not too bad.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's between the destroyers and the Silent King and his little destroyer beams.
Yeah, all of your metal are no longer belong to you.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, it's always like the like kind of the fourth and fifth turn where I just kind of go over that hill and it starts to go downhill.
Oh yeah, the attrition that happens to me is I usually burn out by turn 3 or 4, and that's when I'm like, I'm screwed.
And I did have to I do have to make some changes because apparently the warden doesn't have the noble keyword anymore.
What?
I guess
that makes sense.
Which I mean, yeah, he's literally normal. So, but yeah, I just switched around some things and threw in a lord in there.
There you go.
So,
it's still dumb though.
He has helped though. Every once in a while, I've managed to catch a couple people off guard.
Nice.
With the warden.
I've been kind of stuck in this, like, I don't know what I want land. And so I've gone, like, from Ultramarines to White Scars to back to Ultramarines again, from mechanized lists to foot lists. Like, and I'm still not sure what I want. And I'm not sure if it's me being a little bitch. Depending on who you ask, they'd say yes. Or if it's me just like having not found my playstyle yet. I think eventually soon, especially with SoCal coming up. Which, are you going to that, by the way?
Maybe. Probably. I'm
Okay.
gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna get I'm gonna get paid pretty good here in this next week or two.
Nice.
So depending on
How good?
how sales are, yeah. Well, no, I will be able to get it, assuming that it's not sold out.
Well, I was gonna say
Yeah,
I wouldn't hurry. I wouldn't wait too long.
Yeah.
Or you could always buy a Age of Sigmar 1 and be like, "Oh hey, I was supposed to be 40K. I don't know what the deal is, man." And they're gonna have like people that drop last second anyway. Or you could play AOS. I mean, you have the models now.
But not the practice.
Oh, you just need to hit a Danny R for that stuff. He'll play. And there's actually an AOS League at Gameology. I know that.
Yeah, some of the other guys. I'll have to. I think they're like still kind of in the middle of it.
Yeah, they'll restart it again.
Yeah. And I also don't have a 2,000 point army. Like,
oh, not yet.
At all.
Oh.
I think, or at least.
Crack.
Yeah,
Yes.
no. Well, maybe. I mean, because I guess if I just threw Kragnos in with my my spider goblins and my savage orcs, I could probably get to 2,000. But even then, I don't think so.
Mm.
Because I know especially with the orcs, the savage orcs have no monsters at all.
Really?
They
don't have trolls?
No, they have giant spears. Is their thing. So the way that their army works is they're kind of better at actually killing big stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're like, whoa, big stuff, more food.
Yeah. Wah.
Although I think, shit. Yeah, I know like the spider goblins are kind of hard to find now, but I know an army of them would actually be kind of insane because especially once they get into combat with the spider fangs, they're like it's just like a whole army of exploding sixes.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
That is nasty.
But then also at the same time though with the giants, like they literally just pick up small models.
Yeah.
At the end of combat, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and yeet. All right. I think that does it for me.
What are we at now? Yeah, hour and a half.
Should be an hour and a half.
All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, also something I started doing instead of like throwing all my plug stuff, I just put an end card
Nice.
at the end of the video, so I don't have to repeat myself because I don't like repeating myself.
Repeat stuff.
Yeah. So I guess that will do it for us now, and we'll see you guys later.
Adios.